And now, for the administration of the oath of office, our soon-to-be 51st Attorney General, Ken Paxton, joined by our 50th Attorney General and the next Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott.
Please raise your right hand, put your left hand on the Bible.
Thank you.
And repeat after me. I, Ken Paxton,
I, Ken Paxton,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Attorney General of Texas
of Attorney General of Texas
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you. Beautiful job. Congratulations to you and your whole family.
Thank you.
So Abbott, you're unemployed now.
I'm out of work.
I think this means the former Attorney General is unemployed. I have to confess, Governor Perry gave me that line. Thank you. It's an honor, and it's a very exciting day for me to say that I'm the Texas Attorney General. Thank you all. As I look around this room, I'm very grateful. I see so many friends that encourage me down this path and that help me stand right here today. Both with your prayers, your encouragement, your support, your financial support, I'm incredibly grateful and thankful. And I can say that I know that I would not be standing here but for the people in this room. So thank you all for being here today and for being here throughout the last 2 years. Angela and I sincerely appreciate it. And I also want to talk a little bit about the leadership of Texas. We are blessed. Governor Perry, Lieutenant Governor Dewhurst, what they've accomplished over the last 12 years is really remarkable. And I think it's sometimes hard to appreciate because they're right here. But it is amazing what they've accomplished. Now, Senator Cruz has not had 12 years, but he's only been there a few years, but it seems like 12 years. What he did on his first day is more than a lot of senators do in a lifetime. And his service to this state and to this country is also remarkable. Thank you, Senator Cruz, for your remarkable service. And Justice Willett, I'm just thankful that he told the stories that he did, and he left out the ones he really knew about me from college. Because he could have told a few. Justice Willett has done an amazing job. There was another quote from Albert Schweitzer: "There's no limit to what a man or woman can do if he doesn't care who gets the credit." And that exemplifies this man right here, a great leader of Texas. Thank you, Justice Willett, for being here. And I'm going to preserve my remarks and a few other guys up on the dais for later in my speech, but I do want to say a few words about some people in this audience. My parents, who are here today from Lawton, Oklahoma, and who taught me about faith, family, freedom, and who taught me about hard work and service. Thank you all for being great parents. And to my wonderful family, my children, Tucker, Abby, Madison, Katie, who have put up with me doing this for 13 years. And every 2 years, I'd come back to them. We'd sit at the dinner table, and I'd say, okay, everybody has veto power here. Do you want me to run again? And every 2 years, they said yes. And that cost them time with me. It cost them lots of time with me. And yet, they've been there the entire time. They're great kids, and they're great young adults. And I'm very proud of you. Thank you all very much for encouraging me in this effort. And my wife, Angela, who is always difficult to follow whether she speaks or sings. You did an amazing job today. Thank you. She has been my rock, my inspiration. I can tell you I would not be here but for her. And she's been a great partner in life. And Angela, I love you. Thank you for being here with me. Texas is unique and special, and I'm grateful to be here. We've had great economic success, creating more jobs than any other state in the country. We enjoy great personal freedom because of people that are sitting over here in the legislature, colleagues of mine that I've served with in the House and the Senate, who believe in limited government, who believe in the 10th Amendment. We have strong communities of faith and family, people from my community and communities all over Texas who believe in common sense conservative values. And we've had great prosperity. And despite that, Texas is under assault. You know, my wife, Angela, was a high school math teacher for years. And all teachers, she included, are tested by the students when they start. Texas has new statewide leaders across all areas of government, and we're going to be tested. And I believe that we are up for the challenge. You know, Reagan talked about being a shining city on the hill. I believe that Texas is that shining city. And we are a beacon of hope, but we're also a target as well. And we've heard it from the stage already about the assault by Washington. And the question is why? And I think the answer is simple. We've been successful. Our policies have worked. We're not like Washington. We're not like Illinois. We're not like New York. Our policies actually work. And as a result, the federal government is assaulting Texas. And as I've traveled this state, I've noticed that people are sometimes depressed about that, or they know that things are wrong, that things are not quite right, and they feel oppressed. But I'm encouraged today, partly because of our history, whether you go back to our founders, who against a mighty British Empire took it on for freedom, for liberty, or whether you look at our founders in the state of Texas, or whether you look at World War II, where we had the 18th largest military in the world, smaller than Portugal, and yet in a few short years, we were able to fight major wars on both fronts, Pacific and Atlantic. People will say, well, that was then, this is now. I'm very optimistic about our current leadership. You look at Greg Abbott, now unemployed. He set the standard among attorney generals across this country. They look to us because of what he's done for the last 12 years. His willingness to stand up and fight. You know, I've heard this said more than anything to me on the campaign trail. Wow, you have big shoes to fill. I just want you to know, Governor-elect, I have a size 12. I'm ready to go to work. Thank you, Governor-elect, for your hard work and for setting the standard for this state and for this country. I appreciate it, and these people appreciate it as well. And talking about current leadership, Lieutenant Governor-elect Dan Patrick, I'm very optimistic for this body, for this state, because I've watched his hard work. I've watched his commitment to doing the right thing, to conservative values, to helping people. And we are in great shape with the leadership of Texas because of these men on stage. And so I'm optimistic about our future. You know, I want to finish with a story from my childhood. It's one of the first things that I remember. It's a very vivid memory. I was about 5 years old, and I was told by my parents that my dad was going to Vietnam. He was an Air Force pilot, had ended up serving for almost 22 years. And I didn't know at 5, I didn't know what Vietnam was, but it sounded pretty important. It sounded a little scary. I was told we were moving to upstate New York to move in with my grandparents. And I remember that cold, dreary day as we drove out to the airport to say goodbye to my father. And we said goodbye. And then I remember, and obviously they wouldn't let you do this today, we went to the top of the airport. We were outside standing and watching as these men and women went out onto the tarmac and they walked up the steps of the plane to leave. And I remember holding my mother's hand, and as my father walked out, I remember her squeezing my hand tighter and tighter. As my father walked up the tarmac and then up the stairs, I remember him saluting and waving. And I remember as he did that, I remember drops of water hitting my hand. And it was my mother's tears. And it wasn't just that experience that brought me to where I am today, but it's that service, that sacrifice that I grew up with that I step in today. And I want you to know that what I learned from my parents and what I've learned from my colleagues, I intend in moving forward with in the state of Texas. And I want to thank you all for being a part of our lives, for making a significant difference, not just for us, but for this state and for this entire country. So goes Texas, so goes the nation. God bless you, and thank you for what you do for Texas. Thank you very much.